Hi, everybody. How are you? I hope you're all well. Those of you who are a bit off color today, I wish I could give you a hug. The best I can do is a virtual hug, though. But I want you to know that you are unique. I want you to know that you are loved and appreciated, even if by no one else than me, and just for being here. I love and appreciate you so much. Each one of you watching today serves as the hug I need today. So thank you. We often talk about Harry and Meghan's mental health and seldom about our own. But even those who may be visiting here today feeling just fine and dandy will experience a dab of sadness, a little regret, frustration, jealousy, and a whole range of emotions throughout their lifetimes, because emotion and mental health, two very different things but so closely connected, is what distinguish humans from animals. Well, most animals, because my dogs have an entire range of emotions. I have actually seen Yellow Dog cry real tears. But anyway, sometimes our emotions and mental health are affected by circumstances and things happening to us which we have no control over. I don't have solutions to many of life's problems, but the only way to survive these difficult or sad periods in our lives is to feel loved, appreciated, needed, and cared for. Sometimes we are the carers, and we sometimes feel ourselves, our tanks running empty, because there is nothing or nobody to replenish our soul tanks or fill our hearts. It happens, and particularly during and after COVID, it happened even more. But somewhere, somehow, sometime, you did mean something to someone and can still mean something to someone, whether it is just reaching out with a comment right here on this platform or reply to someone else's comment, having a virtual conversation, so to speak, or whether you make a phone call to someone just to say hi, adopt a pet, or throw a thumbs up on this channel. You mean something to someone. You are beautiful, you are loved, and we are grateful to you. Today, I have a special thank you to Mary Ann, Kathy, Karen, Maria, Cornelia, and my local South African pals, Brenda and Anita. You mean so much to me and my household. We appreciate you. We appreciate every one of you who had ever subscribed, ever given a thanks, or buy me a coffee, or even just liked a video. Each one of you have made our lives so much better. So, having said all of that, I received a couple of interesting articles from Australia via my friend Marianne. I received some information from a few interesting people in California, United States, and so on and so forth. So, although for a few days I just did not feel like making Harkle videos and did not feel like rehashing old stuff or regurgitating things a million channels are talking about, I now have new energy and new material, some of which are surprising, others not surprising at all, and some a tad upsetting. So, where shall I start? I think because I started with mental health and emotions, I want to discuss a totally different spin on Harry's mental health and condition. And it comes from Saintmeghanmarkle on Tumbler, and 100% all credit goes to her. And if you want to read the entire thing, which I suggest you do, because I'm not going to talk about it word for word or necessarily bring up her opinion in all incidences, I'm just going to refer back to what she wrote once or twice, but that's it. But I do recommend you go read it. Anyway, I will put a link in my description box for you to actually pop on over there easily. But like I said, I am going to quote from her a piece here and there, and just in order to enable me to give my opinion. Anyway, the heading of her article is Harry is a dangerous sociopath, and it is terrifying. Saintmeghanmarkle says that when she looks at Meghan Markle, she feels and sees her as a mean girl. But when she looks at Harry, she sees something much darker and more sinister. And to be honest, lately, I saw something similar in him as well. And that is why what she wrote actually got to me. I only differ with her when it comes to Meghan Markle because I think Meghan Markle also bounces from dark to very empty. I do not pick up any good or positive vibes from her at all. I honestly feel that Meghan herself is more than just a mean girl. But we are not going to talk much about Meghan today because we need to figure Harry out before it is too late. I have no idea whether the rumor that Harry suffered a medical emergency, likely a panic attack, is true or not. I reached out to a few people but have not had any reply as yet. So honestly, I can't say one way or the other. But let's look into Saint Meghan Markle's article and try and figure out whether Harry is the victim, or is he the sociopath causing the suffering? Or is it the perfect storm with two people in the same household, both suffering from mental and personality disorders? The first reason Saintmeghanmarkle gives for thinking Harry is a sociopath is his hunger for power and dominance. And I can't help but agree with her that had this been medieval times, Harry would likely have killed his brother by now. I also agree with her that Harry feels obviously threatened by the Wales kiddies. It shows in the most awful facial expressions, sometimes caught on camera, when he's looking at his brother and his children. In my opinion, this is not okay and not normal, and in a way even spells danger. Let me put it this way. If I was William and Catherine, I would not let Harry walk off alone with one of my children. Let's just leave it at that. Devious and deceptive tendencies. Yes, indeed, Harry lies and deceives in order to get what he wants. And if it does not work and he does not get what he wants, he's angry and revengeful. To date, Harry executed his revenge with words through interviews and his book, etc. But I firmly believe that if he did not fear the consequences for himself, he would have played his revenge out in a much more vicious and physical way. And I fear that one day he will lose his mind and do something terrible. That is, if he hasn't already, because there are stories of women who had been mishandled by him and hurt in the process. And that leads exactly to Saint Meghan Markle's next point: hostile or aggressive towards others. I don't think Harry was a nice kid, not ever. Remember when he was small, he was prone to ride his bike into the shins of photographers and interviewers, or kicking at William for greeting their mother first. Later, we saw him in physical fights with photographers. In his book, Harry himself talks about the dangerous and aggressive games he, William, and other children played. Even the fact that he bragged about the Taliban he killed shows that he does not possess the normal feeling about or toward killing and death, ruthless in the pursuit of goals. I think this suits Meghan more than it does Harry, but I do think Harry can be pretty ruthless. We saw how he kept going at his father and brother with little regard of whether the stories are actually true or not, and regardless of what effect it would finally have on his family. And that, I think, is indeed pretty ruthless. Easily angered and irritated. Well, we don't even need to debate that one. We saw that. Irresponsible decision making. He told in his book how he sped through the same channel his mother died in. He signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Spotify and then did not deliver the work. And again, we circle back to the aggression and need for vengeance. Harry makes a decision, it does not work out the way he thought it would, and then he is mad at everyone else. It is everyone else's fault but his own. He goes wash, rinse, repeat, all then in his words, not my fault, your fault, I hate you. That, my dears, is the pattern that Harry follows and has been following probably for most of his life. Superficial charm and powers of persuasion. Unfortunately, I agree again with Saintmeghanmarkle. Harry could be very charming and get people to like him. Just a pity it never lasts. Broken moral compass and limited conscience. Well, the last I think is purely because he's dumb, okay? But yes, the fact that he could so explicitly talk about and describe his first sexual encounter shows how broken his moral compass is. Not because of the fact that it happened, but because he did not once consider how the woman would feel having it exposed like that. Few close bonds or relationships. We are actually blaming Meghan Markle for getting rid of Harry's friends. But did she? Or was it Harry himself who ghosted them? Ghosted them because they did not pray at the altar of Meghan immediately. We don't know, but that's how it looks to me. We know Harry is a manipulator. In a previous video, we spoke about how he uses his mother's name and reputation to manipulate people. Entitlement and impunity. Oh gosh, I think this one is obvious. But when it comes to manipulation, entitlement, and impunity, Harry and Meghan would be hard pressed to find which one is worse than the other. But Harry's entitlement, I agree, is off the chart. Saint Meghan Markle actually reminds us about Harry being asked why Meghan should be treated differently when all the other royal girlfriends had to go through the same. And he basically answered because they, him and her, are special. Special? Well, that is what I would call childish entitlement. Social deviance. Well, old Harry cheated on girlfriends, wore a Nazi uniform, made racial slurs, used drugs, and underage drinking, and on it goes and on it goes. So we don't need to discuss that one ad nauseum or any further. Harry also feels no guilt, has no remorse. He fails to fulfill his duties, and when reprimanded for not fulfilling his duties and responsibilities, he reacts in anger and with thoughts of vengeance again. We have seen him abusing animals, for example, kicking his horses with spurs until they bleed. And talking about animals, he also enjoys hunting. But similarly, he appears to enjoy hurting people. He would often recount stories of them being hurt or feeling discomfort but his face does not portray the hurt they felt. Instead, he is more prone to a type of smirk or then duper's delight kind of smile, knowing his story will cause more discomfort to others than to him. Saintmeghanmarkle, through her analysis, even goes as far as to say that she fears for Meghan Markle. And although I agree with her analysis on Harry being a sociopath and possibly even dangerous, remember there are stories of his having hurt ladies of a certain persuasion or career path and one or two others, one night stands and the like. Now, I don't know whether it's true or not, but regardless, I have a feeling that Megan is cunning, sly. She knows exactly which buttons to push, and I think that ultimately she is very much soulless, unfeeling, and therefore I think we may very well see a 50-50 scenario, each trying to destroy the other. Now, the only thing which is extremely concerning, really, is the fact that Harry is physically stronger, but Meghan is more clever and more devious. But the other advantage Harry has, and which is a biggie, is that he has an entire monarchy to back him up should he screw up. Because I'm telling you, regardless of what he does, they will, when the chips are down, they will still back him up. So, guys, you know what? I don't exactly know what's wrong with Harry, nor do I know exactly what is wrong with Meghan. I am not close to either one of them, and nor am I a medical professional. But I don't need qualifications to know that alcohol and drug abuse is making everything worse. The marriage will not survive. That has now become a foregone conclusion, as much as it is becoming clear that their mental state, yes, the both of them, or each of them, is rapidly declining. Meghan's obsession with Diana, wanting to be Diana, right down to having an affair with her bodyguard and wanting to change her surname to Spencer, etc., is sick. I don't care what anyone says, it is sick. Make no mistake, it is in the upper echelon of being sick, deluded, and unstable. Harry, with his delusions, thinking he can get hold of Putin, Trump, and the Pope and interview them about their childhood trauma. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is totally off the scale delusional. Now, like I said, I do not have a crystal ball and cannot tell how it will end. But this toxic liaison better get resolved very soon before it really explodes into a disaster and more than an ambulance needs to be called. Okay, my dears, I've received many, many, many requests to make a certain video, to talk about a certain subject, and to keep talking about it for a while. The people who have asked this from me say they have their own reasons why they feel it is important right now to do this, okay? So tomorrow I'm going to do just that. And if I can manage it, I'll also post another video, which is one I really want to make, on a completely different subject based on the newspaper articles I was talking about right in the beginning of this video. So, my dear friends, until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.